My name is Emilia Hart, 34 years old, actress, 2 Golden Globes, 1 broken heart. They say betrayal cuts deepest when it comes from someone you'd die for. But what if it comes from 2 at once? Let me take you to a time when my life looked perfect. From the outside, glamorous red carpets, magazine covers, talk shows with scripted smiles and designer gowns. Behind the curtains, though, was a life built on blind trust. I had a husband, Daniel Rivers, celebrated director, 42. Tall, charming, the kind of man who knows exactly what to say in every room. We were Hollywood's golden couple, 7 years strong, or so I believed. And then there was her, Harper Lee, my stylist, or so I thought. She was 28, bright, ambitious, always 2 steps ahead in fashion. But more importantly, she was like my little sister. We met during my breakout film in Cannes. She fixed a torn zipper backstage, didn't flinch under pressure. From that day on, she was part of my team. Then my inner circle. Then my home. Daniel adored her. At first, I thought it was because she understood my stress. She took weight off my shoulders. She was efficient, sweet, and loyal. Or so I thought. I didn't know that every late-night fitting, every emergency call to adjust a look, was really a window into my marriage, and eventually an open door. When I got the lead in a European psychological thriller, I was thrilled. It meant 6 months in Prague, working with a legendary director. A dream. Daniel encouraged me. "You've earned this," he said. "I'll hold things down here." I believed him. Before leaving, I hugged Harper, gave her full access to the house, the wardrobe, the press contacts. "Anything you need," I said. "Your family." The first month abroad was fine. Long calls, virtual dinners, updates from Daniel, funny selfies from Harper. But in the second month, the calls slowed, the texts dried, excuses began. "I'm swamped with edits. Wi-Fi's bad at the set. I'll call tomorrow." Tomorrow never came, and slowly something inside me began to ache, a subtle, cold gnawing. Not panic, yet just unease. I ignored it, focused on the role. Got nominated for Best International Actress in Berlin. Daniel didn't even call. Instead, Harper sent a bouquet. "With love, always, H." No note from him, no message, just silence. Still, I waited. Because love waits. Because trust is supposed to hold. But it doesn't hold forever, especially when it's already been cut from within. It was late, a cold Prague night. I had just finished filming a brutal emotional scene. My eyes still wet, though not from acting. Back at the hotel, I kicked off my heels, collapsed into the sofa, and reached for my phone. Dozens of unread messages, but none from Daniel, not a single one. I sighed, opened Instagram, scrolled aimlessly. Then a notification from someone I didn't know. No profile photo, no followers, just a message. You should come home. She's wearing your life now. I froze. The words hit harder than any script I had ever read. I clicked on the account. Empty. Anonymous. And then a second message appeared. You trusted her. She trusted your closet. Still confused, still half in denial, I typed back, What are you talking about? No reply, just one photo, blurry, but unmistakable. Harper, standing in my bedroom, in my silk robe, the one Daniel bought me in Tokyo, holding a mug I hand-painted on our honeymoon. Behind her, Daniel, half-dressed, smiling, leaning in. My stomach dropped, not just from shock, but from the cruel realization that this wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a one-time betrayal. This had history. I zoomed into the background. My side of the bed was untouched. Hers was slept in. My robe, my home, my husband. And they looked comfortable. Like this had been going on long enough for them to forget to hide. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But I did neither. Instead, I saved the photo, sat still, let the pain crawl through every inch of my body, and then I did something I never thought I'd do. I smiled, not out of joy, but clarity. This wasn't just a betrayal. It was a gift. The mask had slipped, and now I was done being silent. I didn't call Daniel. I didn't message Harper. I didn't reply to the ghost account. Instead, I sat in that cold hotel room and rewound time in my mind. The missed calls, the subtle change in Daniel's tone, Harper's sudden avoidance of video calls, the time she accidentally canceled a stylist appointment the same day Daniel had a migraine. They were never clumsy. They were calculated. And I had been blind, but no more. The next morning I ordered coffee and silence, looked at the snowy streets of Prague, and made a list, not of names, but of moves. I wouldn't confront them, not yet. Confrontation was emotion, and I didn't want emotion. I wanted precision. Because they didn't just break my heart, they underestimated me. And that's the part they'd regret the most. 2 weeks later, I returned to Los Angeles, unannounced, uninvited, unshaken. The driver dropped me off 3 houses away. I didn't want them to hear the engine, didn't want to give them even a moment to prepare. I walked up to the front door, my door, and entered with the spare key I never told anyone I kept. Inside was silence. Warm, perfumed silence. Not mine. Harper had changed the candles, the art on the walls, even the furniture arrangement. My home no longer felt like mine, and yet every piece of it was mine, including what they had tried to steal. I walked quietly into the kitchen. The counter was covered in dishes, 2 coffee mugs, a half-eaten grapefruit, and a single gold bracelet. One I had seen on Harper's Instagram story just days earlier. Hashtag Sunday Mood. Caption, Feeling at Home Star. Oh, sweetheart, 2 at home. I didn't cry. Instead, I took a photo. No flash, just enough light to capture it all. My evidence. The sound of a key turning in the door broke the stillness. Harper entered. laughing, holding a shopping bag. She didn't see me at first. Then she looked up and froze. "Em?" she stammered. "You're back?" "Yes," I said calmly. "Surprise!" Her face went pale, then quickly reset. She tried to smile, tried to act normal, but her eyes couldn't hide it. Panic. She rushed over to hug me. "I was just about to call you." I didn't hug back, but I smiled. Big, bright, Hollywood. "Oh, don't worry," I said. "I've been watching." That moment, that split second, when her eyes twitched and her throat dried, I captured it, not with a camera, but with my mind. A perfect freeze frame for what would come next. I played the role of the sweet, returning friend, told her I missed her, said we should catch up over dinner. She hesitated, then nodded, unsure. I asked her about work. She said things were quiet. No new clients yet, but something big might be coming. I nodded. Inside I laughed, because I already knew nothing was coming. That night I scrolled through Harper's tagged photos, every smile, every fake caption. I downloaded them all. I took notes, dates, locations, faces in the background. Then I called my lawyer. We made adjustments to my accounts, to my business structure, to every legal thread she had once been connected to. Then I called my assistant, told her to contact every brand Harper had pitched in the last year. Let's see how many knew she was sleeping with a client's husband. And finally, I met with a small PR firm I had used once before, specialists in what they called image rebalancing. A week later, I invited Harper to a red carpet gala, told her it would be good to be seen together again. She beamed. "Like the old days," she said. We posed. She smiled like nothing had ever happened, but I knew every click of the camera was another nail, not in her coffin, but in her image, because behind the scenes I had sent that same PR team the photo of her in my robe, of her pouring coffee with Daniel behind her, and the press releases were already written, ready, waiting. All I had to do was click send, but not yet, because revenge isn't just about justice, it's about timing. And she had no idea. The countdown had already started. Daniel didn't call. Not that day, not the next. Maybe he was scared. Maybe Harper warned him. Maybe he thought silence would make it go away. Or maybe he just didn't know how to face the mess he created. I wasn't waiting for an apology, but I was waiting for the final move. The moment when everything that had been swept under the rug would be dragged into the light. It came at 1:12 a.m. My phone lit up. Daniel. I stared at the name, felt nothing, just stillness. And then I picked up. "M?" His voice was hoarse. "Software." Like he was talking to a ghost he never expected to hear back from. "We need to talk," he said. "In person." The next morning I met him at the old studio apartment where we once dreamed of changing the world, where we wrote scripts until 3 a.m., kissed over cold coffee, and believed in each other. He looked tired, worn. The arrogance was gone, replaced by something I hadn't seen in years. Fear. I walked in, didn't speak, just sat down. He stayed standing. "There's no good explanation for what I did," he said, "and I'm not going to insult you by pretending there is, but I need to say it anyway." I folded my arms, let him speak. "Harper wasn't just a mistake," he began. She saw me." Those 3 words, "she saw me," so simple, so cliché, so pathetic. "I spent so many years living in your shadow," he said. "You were the star. You were the talent. I was just Emilia's husband." I raised an eyebrow. He continued, "With Harper, I didn't feel like I had to compete. She looked at me like I mattered. Not because of what I did, but because I was me." Oh, Daniel, that wasn't love. That was ego. That was weakness looking for validation in the easiest place possible. "So you slept with someone I trusted," I said, "because she looked at you like you were special?" He flinched, didn't answer. "I didn't love her," he muttered. "I don't think I even liked her that much. I just needed to feel like I wasn't invisible." That's when it hit me. This was never about her. It was never even about me. It was about him, and the cracks in his soul I didn't cause, but paid for. He stepped forward. "Please, Emilia, let me explain." But I stood, straightened my coat, and looked him dead in the eyes. "You betrayed me not because I failed you," I said, "but because you couldn't keep up with me." He opened his mouth. I didn't let him speak. "You felt small around me, Daniel? You should, because you always were." I turned, walked to the door, paused just long enough to say, for the first time in 7 years, "I really see you, and I don't like what I see." And I walked away, not with tears, not with heartbreak, but with power. Because the worst thing you can do to a man like Daniel is stop needing his explanation. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but I disagree. It's best served silent, public, and completely undeniable. The night Harper's face froze on that stage wasn't just a scandal. It was a mirror for her, for Daniel, for me. The next morning, the internet exploded. Headlines screamed, "Stylist's affair with director exposed live on stage." Amelia Hart's epic clapback at X and Betrayal. From starlet to strategist, Emilia's ice-cold revenge. But I didn't read the articles, didn't open the blogs, didn't answer the calls, because I didn't need anyone's applause. I had already won. Daniel lost his latest directing deal. The studio didn't want the drama. His brand had become tainted. Not because he cheated, but because he underestimated the wrong woman. Harper vanished from the scene. No public statement, no defense, just silence. Delicious, echoing silence. And me? I packed my bags, left LA, rented a cottage in Florence. No paparazzi, no premieres, just time to breathe, to feel again. You see, This story was never about destroying them. It was about rebuilding me. They took pieces of my life, but they didn't realize I was the architect. I could redesign it all from the ground up, stronger, wiser, sharper. I look in the mirror now, and I don't see a woman broken. I see a woman who burned quietly and rose from her own ashes without making a sound. And if Harper is out there somewhere, still wondering why, still confused how it all fell apart, let this be the answer. You wore my clothes, but you never fit my life. And Daniel, you wanted to feel big. Well, now you can feel empty instead. So, to anyone listening, let this story remind you. Betrayal doesn't break you. It just shows you who you were never meant to trust. And once you stop trying to save what was fake, you finally make room for what's real. Fade to black. No credits. No applause. Just one quiet message on screen. She was just my stylist, but I was never just a wife.